Hello, movie lovers. As promised, here is my abridged version of A Christmas Carol. So, first off, we start off with Scrooge. He is an old miser who is very stingy, very selfish, doesn't care for anybody, doesn't want to spend his money on anything, wants to make sure that everything that happens is good for him and no one else. So, opens up in his counting house with his clerk, Bob Cratchit's in the other room. They have people that come in saying, hey, why don't you give to charity? He says, no, I pay my taxes. Why should I give to charity? Then all of a sudden, they leave, and here comes Scrooge's nephew. Uncle, why don't you spend Christmas with us? I don't like you. That's pretty much the whole story for that when it goes through. Then they leave. Bob Cratchit says, oh, do I get the whole day off? And Scrooge says, well, if I have to. I don't think I should have to, but since it's the normal thing, yes, but be here all the earlier the next morning. That's quite important. Okay, so then he leaves. Scrooge goes home, and as he's opening his door, all of a sudden he sees the face of his dead partner, Jacob Marley. And then when you see Jacob Marley, he gets scared. He backs off and he says, oh, well, okay, that was weird. Walks inside, goes upstairs, and then he's visited by Jacob Marley as a ghost. Now, as he is there, at first he doesn't believe that Jacob Marley is actually there, that he's a ghost. He says, oh, it's probably something to do with the stomach. It could be an undigested bit of beef, a crumb of cheese. There's more gravy than the grave about you. I love that line. Puns are great. But anyway, goes through there and Marley says, no, I'm here for your welfare. Do you see these chains around me? Okay, this is because I did not give to fellow man. I was not kind. I thought only of myself. But you still have a chance, Ebenezer Scrooge. You're going to be visited by 3 spirits. And then Marley leaves, and Scrooge is like, bah, humbug. Yes, that's where this comes from if you don't already know. So then Scrooge goes to bed, and all of a sudden he's woken up by the ghost of Christmas past. And the ghost of Christmas past takes Scrooge to his past where he sees where he grew up, where he went to school, where he was an apprentice, who he fell in love with, who he chose money over love. Okay, sees all of that. Also sees how his love is now happy and how he is no longer happy and how he could have been happy with her. So everything goes there. And Scrooge is like, oh, my life is terrible. Stop showing this to me and send me home. So this is the part of the story where they used to show how he got there. Then we have the ghost of Christmas present shows up. This giant, big old man, come in and know me better, man. Goes through, and as they're going through everything, he shows them all the cheer that is involved with Christmas, and in part of all that shows him the party that his nephew Fred invited him to. It shows him the Cratchits, how they still have a great Christmas, even though they are not the richest in the world. And then right before the ghost leaves, he opens up his robe, and there's 2 very, very disgusting, gangly, just gross people. And he says, these are the children of man. One is ignorance, one is want. Okay, beware of them both, but definitely be aware of ignorance. And then he leaves, and all of a sudden, the ghost of Christmas yet to come appears. It is a shadowy figure that never says anything. It only beckons to where it wants to go and tells Scrooge to go there. Now it shows Scrooge this group of people who are talking about this man who has died, and none of them care. There is no sadness, none whatsoever. In fact, they won't even go to the funeral unless there is a lunch provided. The ghost then takes Scrooge to what is basically a pawn shop, okay, where they're talking about items that were stolen from the dead man's place. And there's just no remorse whatsoever. So we go from there, and he asks the spirit, can you show me some sort of emotion from this man's passing? So they go to this couple who is excited for this man who has died because they are no longer in debt. They are no longer in debt. It's a happy time. And so the ghost then takes Scrooge to a bed with a covered corpse, and Scrooge doesn't look at him. He asks to see some tenderness involved with death, and all of a sudden it takes him to Bob Cratchit's house, where they find out that Tiny Tim has passed away. Okay, so they go from there, and he says, okay, tell me who this man is so that I cannot repeat his fate. And they go to a graveyard. The spirit beckons. Scrooge asks, are these things that are going to happen or just may happen and they can still be changed? As he's doing that, he looks at the tombstone and he sees his own name. Ebenezer Scrooge, right there. He starts begging, I can change, I can change. The ghost disappears and Scrooge back on his bed. Back on his bed, he goes to the window. He says to Boy, what day is it? Why, it's Christmas Day, sir. Oh, I haven't missed it. So he sends the boy to go grab a turkey, a giant turkey, and takes to the Cratchit's house. And then he himself goes out to go to the party of his nephew. Now, on the way, he runs into the two charitable people that we meet at the beginning. And he whispers an amount into their ear, and they are surprised. You're going to give us that much? Yes, with many back payments to come. Then he goes to his nephew, who is obviously invites him in to dine with him, and they go from there. The next morning, Bob Cratchit is late, very late to work, and he's assuming that Scrooge is going to be so angry with him. Then he says, Bob Cratchit, I'm very disappointed in you. Why should you be this late? I have nothing to do but raise your salary. And from there, we get one of the great lines in cinema. No man could keep Christmas like Scrooge from then. He became a second father to Tiny Tim. And, as Tiny Tim observed, God bless us, everyone. And that is the story of Christmas Carol if you have not heard it before. Okay, if you were wondering where this all started from, you can check the link down below to see what the introduction for this was. But if not, please keep an eye out for our Christmas Carol adaptation reviews and rankings. Okay, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. God bless, and that's a wrap.